Here we are with DTN to learn a little bit more about them, and with me to talk about DTN is Adrian Blake. And Adrian, I guess we'll start first of all with the editorial focus of DTN and the Progressive Farmer. Tell me a little bit about it.
Sure thing. We've really got two audiences that we're serving. First of all, we've got the large commercial producer audience. We've got about 170 of those, 170,000 that we reach with DTN and with Progressive Farmer, Business Edition. And then we've got a broader audience of almost 500,000 smaller producers. And they're not that small. They average about 250 acres. And so, let's talk about it in two ways. With the commercial producers, we focus on markets, we focus on weather, we focus on how they can make more money from their operation. Honestly, we really treat it as a B2B publication. These are small businessmen, these are entrepreneurs, and we want to give them the information they need to solve their business problems. On the other side, when you talk about the smaller producers, about 250 acres, oftentimes are going to be working off the farm. It's much more about land management. How do you get the most out of the land that you do have? We acquired Progressive Farmer from Time Warner about a year ago. And, our sense was that this is a fantastic magazine, but it was starting to edge a little bit more towards lifestyle than we were comfortable with, and frankly, that we thought was appropriate for the audience. So one of the things that we've done is we've repositioned the magazine slightly, first of all, for our commercial audience, to put a lot more rigorous content in there. We've got a 32-page business section that only goes to commercial farmers, has the best of DTN in it, so, all of our big names, Urban Lehner and Darren Newsom and Bryce Anderson, are creating content that's very business-focused for them. And then on the national edition that goes to the smaller producers, we've got much more content about land management and really, getting the most out of the acreage that you do have.
Well, when you look at DTN and the Progressive Farmer, what are some of the things that set it apart or make it different from other media mechanisms or outlets that are out there?
Sure. I'd say the number one thing is content. We're in a very lucky position. We have our ownership group has been very generous with us in that we've got the resources to have 90 people creating content around the world. We've got a full-time guy in Brazil. We've got a full-time guy in China. We've got a big newsroom in Omaha. We've got a newsroom in Birmingham, Alabama. We have more resources than anyone else in the industry, and that allows us to do a lot more interesting things. We've also been in a position where we can hire the best in the industry from other organizations. For example, Marcia Taylor, who joined us last year. It's very satisfying. Chuck, you understand the new media world as well as anyone else can. What really matters is having the right content to engage people. And it doesn't matter what the brand name is and how long you've been around. What matters is having the best content that people are going to pay attention to. So we've invested very heavily in that. The other thing that I would say is engagement. When you think about a DTN system, a producer pays about $1,000 to subscribe to DTN. And, we all know producers and we have a lot of respect for them. We also know that $1,000 is not something they part with lightly. So if you're going to commit to $1,000 to a DTN subscription, you're going to use the damn thing. So, what we found is that we've got usage patterns of 30 minutes a day for the average subscriber. They look at 27 pages a day. And, they'll be in several sessions throughout the day. But, we can't think of another medium in the ag business that people spend as much screen time with. So we're in a lucky position where we have that engagement. And then, frankly, on the with the magazine, our most recent research shows that people are spending 90 minutes with each issue, which is up about 10% from where we were last year. And it really makes us, feel like we're on the right path by concentrating on content, something distinctive, something that producers aren't going to get someplace else.
Absolutely, fully agree. And so for your advertisers, how do they benefit now from having different channels that you do offer them?
I would be, we have a lot of respect for our competitors, and certainly they have different options too. What I would argue with is that, when you go back to sort of, the content that makes a difference in user behavior, we were lucky enough to win a Neal Award this year, and Jack Odell and his team are just fantastic. And, that to us shows that not only are we a great ag magazine, we're a great business magazine. We also, with the Ag Editors Award last year, really cleaned up. We won something like, 38% of the awards, and we were very proud of that. And, it shows we're investing in talent, and it seems to be working. So I think for advertisers, what we're seeing is that we've got media that producers are going to stay engaged with. All of us are good at reaching farmers, and frankly, we know we're all reaching about the same farmers. There are about 200,000 in the United States that really make a difference. We all do a pretty good job of reaching them. What we'd like to think is that we're engaging them better once they get to us. We've got the talent we've got the best talent in the industry. We've got the content that's going to make them money, and we think because of that, they're going to spend more time with us, which hopefully is a better context for an advertiser.
So at this point, what can you tell us as you look forward to plans for growth in the future?
We haven't been afraid of growing or doing new things at all. We were lucky enough to acquire the biggest magazine in the industry last year from Time Warner. We're lucky in that our ownership group is fairly aggressive. So, we anticipate on growing and continue to innovate. our job is to grow the company. Part of that's going to be done organically with things we do in-house, like our market space online grain marketplace, which will be coming out later this year. And part of it will be by acquiring other interesting brands that we think are going to help us tell our story to producers. So, obviously I can't tell you anything on camera, but all I can say is watch this space. We've got the will, we've got the talent, and we've got the backers to do some interesting things.
Great. Well, we're certainly looking forward to some innovative and interesting things in the future. Thanks for telling us about DTN and the Progressive Farmer and that new marriage that really, you said, just a little over a year now. And so here with Adrian Blake, I'm Chuck Zimmerman.